Well, speaking of good, AEW Revolution is next up on our list, our agenda here. AEW Revolution 2024, taking place on March 3rd, which is a week from today as of this recording. So now we're just going to talk about the card, the build-up, what we think about Sting's last match, how you think it's going to happen, what shenanigans are going to happen, what our thoughts are going into Revolution. So let's talk about some of the matches and title matches that are taking place at AEW Revolution. We got the tag team match for the AEW Tag Team Championships between Sting, Darby Allin, and the Young Bucks. And then we have the AEW World Championship. It's a three-way between Samoa Joe, Adam Page, Swerve Strickland. And then we have Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong for the International Championship. You got Toni Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo for the Women's World Championship.
Hell yeah.
Eddie Kingston and one of his 50 belts versus Bryan Danielson for the Continental Crown Championship.
Hell yeah.
You got Christian Cage, which I think is the best heel in AEW right now, versus Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship. Wardlow versus Powerhouse Hobbs. And did they announce another person yet? I forget.
Lance Archer.
Thank you. And there's the Meat Madness match is how it's being billed, which
I hate that.
It's funny, but I don't know why why are they calling it Meat Madness? Because meat was like a funny
Because they're
thing.
big, meaty men.
No.
But I think Tony Khan should make sure he sends Big E a check.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't ride on that freaking meme train and
blame Chicago All Out last year when it was Rusev and fucking Hobbs, I think.
Yeah.
And last but not least, and I think this is one of the more recent announcements, was Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita, or as Barnett used to say, Takeshita
versus Take a Shit.
Take a shit. Takeshita.
Used to say, Takeshita. Thank you. So where do you guys want to start? Do we want to start with the main event and talk about the tag team match and then just kind of go from there?
Yeah, we'll just go top bottom.
Yeah, let's do top bottom. So we got Sting, you got Darby Allin, and versus the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt, or I guess I should say Nicholas.
There you go, Matthew.
Yeah, so I don't get fined apparently if I mispronounce their names.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think of the buildup? How do you feel the buildup has been in AEW for this match going into Revolution?
I think it's been good. I know there's a lot of people that just generally, because they are the Young Bucks, they just generally hate the fact that this is Sting's opponent or they're Sting's opponent. But I mean, people have to understand that Sting most likely had a hand in like choosing who he was going to face. So I'm guessing this is just more or less what he wanted to do. I think that because it's a tornado tag, right? So it's a tornado tag. So it's going to be fucking crazy. There's going to be crazy spots. It's going to be, Sting's going to break his neck again, most likely, jumping off some shit. But he's going to go out with a bang. He's going to go out guns blazing. So I think the buildup has been good. I like that they were wearing the white suits and they got the blood on them and they're just still wearing them. Like, I like that. Ric Flair was missing, but then they did that little backstage thing, so I'm guessing he's going to have some hand in the decision of this match. I'm sure he's going to show up in some capacity. Maybe he's going to be a heel and try to screw over Sting, and then Bucks retain, or they win. So I don't know.
Is that to say that like we don't see it? If that does happen, do we see that not being Sting's actual last match? Like they're just setting it up for that, and maybe setting up for
not.
I felt like I think that's an interesting thing to play around with, and in terms of the ending of the match, because I feel like just from looking at where it could potentially go, I think that Sting and Darby Allin can retain and then give up the title belts maybe on a Dynamite or something. and just have him have like a feel good. He wins his final match instead of the Young Bucks winning.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would kind of leave a sour taste in people's mouths, even though that's technically the right direction they should be going as EVPs and this kind of new age Vince McMahon style these characters that they're portraying. And I thought that the one thing that I thought was weird is they're EVPs of AEW, but there was this promo, I think, with Darby Allin that was confronting them, and they were like, "Oh, are you making it official?" I'm like, if you guys are EVPs and your heels, I feel like you could make the match. Like, you can say, "We are doing this for the tag titles," because you're the EVPs, right? So I just felt like, from a storyline perspective, the more logical thing would have been for them to just put themselves in the match and make it a championship match instead of like waiting for, Darby Allin and Sting to say that it's going to be for the tag titles. And that was my only gripe. But I thought the promo that Sting did, and that's such a crappy thing. First of all, I didn't realize that his dad was still alive, given that Sting is in his 60s.
Right, his dad must have been like
his dad was like 90 or 100. I don't know what it was, but that was a very emotional promo, because I was like watching a bunch of clips for the past couple of days, just kind of catching up and just trying to see what the lay of the land was. And they did a really good job. And Darby Allin's a really good like promo guy. He doesn't sound like, and I think you guys know what like a standard, like when a person who isn't the best at like emoting, like there's a lot of like there are these mannerisms that just seem like they're a common thing when wrestlers are doing promos, but there are guys like, and I can maybe name them on like one hand, like CM Punk is a very like they just talk naturally. It doesn't sound like they're they have conviction. Darby Allin just has a really good way of doing promo. He just talks like he's a normal person and not like it's, amateur hour at a local theater,
Whoa.
So I think that was really good. And that me as a person who isn't as invested in AEW as you guys on this podcast, I thought was really good. And it made me get invested in this match and wanting to see Revolution. And I'll talk about Toni Storm too, because I've been watching her clips too and her segments. Like that, the stuff that she's been doing has been really genius in terms of like the vignettes. And I don't know how much creative input she has in creating these vignettes and the production, which I think is really good, but I just question sometimes just the logic of like when they use the gray filter and when they don't use the gray filter. Because sometimes it's like, okay, we're going to do this shot and then it's going to be color and then gray. And she gets introduced with a gray filter, and then other times they just remove it and then she's just in color. So I don't know what the logic is for that. But going back to this Darby Allin or this tag team match with Sting's final match, where is Ric Flair going to be involved in this? Where do you guys think he's going to be? Do you think they're going to be like, he's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm part of this too now, I'm going to be also in the match, or do some kind of weird like save at the last second, like I don't know, do a figure four, get a chair or something?
It's going to be a low blow. Like if he's going to do something, it's going to be a low blow. I already know it.
They'll climb the turnbuckle, try to jump off, and they'll just grab him as they always do and just throw him. They'll take a huge
like 2 deaths in this freaking match, because I know this thing's gonna go crazy. But Ric Flair, man, like that guy, and God love him, honestly. Like I can't say that. The guy should like just stop doing stuff, because like if you have the passion and the energy for it, like I feel like if I was in his position, I wouldn't like curl up and die in a nursing home either. Like I'd like to be active, and I think I'd be smarter and just want to be involved in wrestling, just in a non-wrestling capacity. But yeah, I feel like he might get physical.
I mean, he said it. Yeah, go ahead.
It's 30 for 30, and like it made me understand a lot more about like why he can't let go of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, he said himself, I was going to say, just a segue off of that, which is good. And he said, I'm going to die in this ring, so fuck it.
No win.
Right.
That's crazy.
I mean, fuck.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I definitely see him getting involved in the match, like taking a bump or, like a low blow would be definitely his old fashioned style doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe get a nice strut maybe once or twice, I'm sure. But like I definitely see him getting involved. He's not just gonna be managing and just standing there the whole time. Definitely not.
I think he's
Especially for
gonna.
Sting's last match.
Yeah, I think he's gonna screw him over. I think he's gonna do like a face off with Sting in the ring, and then he's gonna like kick him in the nuts, and then the Bucks take. I think that's what's gonna, and I think that's what should happen because then you want the Bucks to be fucking hated like nuclear heat. You know what I mean? I think that's what.
Yeah,
should happen.
but then there's no closure for Sting because then it's like, well, I mean, he just got screwed over, so I feel like you gotta continue.
Better than being buckle bombed for your last.
That's true.
I think maybe they could do it tastefully. I think maybe he could still have like a curtain closer. Like, sure, he loses the match, but it's like, it was
Darby
a fight.
takes the pin.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Darby takes the pin. I mean, it could go a bunch of ways, but I think for the sake of, like, since it is his retirement and they just so happen to have those belts, I guess, like, if they didn't have the belts, it would have made more sense, but, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, that's why it's so interesting because you don't really know what's going to happen with this shit because it's like it could go either way. And then Ric Flair's that dark horse is just going to pop up and who knows where the fuck that's going to go. So it should be interesting.
Let's go round table and let's just predict what's going to happen at the end of this match, what the result is. So I say that if because they book it as the last match, and I do think Tony Khan wants to give it a proper send off, I feel like they are going to retain, and then he's just gonna retire the belts on Dynamite or whatever show, or even at the end of the match, he just hands them over to Tony Khan or something. I think that's what's gonna happen. Chris, what do you think?
I mean, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I think he's gonna lose them, and I think the Bucks are gonna take them, and it's gonna just generate a lot of heat for them in the future. So I think that's where it's gonna go.
That's fair. What about you, David?
I'm right there with Chris. I think the Bucks will find a way to win. I think they will go the nuclear way. I think they'll end up probably like super kicking Ric Flair as well. I feel like what's minus Kenny, of course. I think the rest of the elite are going to go the superhero route pretty soon.
Oh man, wait, is he still recovering from his like fucking?
Yeah, I feel like
he's been gone for a while.
He got Kenny. Yeah, Kenny's gonna be gone for a while. I thought you were talking about Flair. I'm like, no, Flair got cleared to take bumps.
I was gonna say Kenny though, like maybe he'd make like a surprise appearance or some shit.
You're like, no, guys, stop.
But no, that would ruin the Sting thing, so that wouldn't happen. Yeah.
What about you, Andres?
Yeah, I can see Sting losing and then dropping the titles but no matter what, he's still going to have his moment in the ring. He's still going to be celebrated. That's the main thing that's going to happen, no matter what, win or lose. But I can definitely see him, like the Bucks, losing in a very bad fashion. Yeah, building really good heat. So going forward, it's like okay, and then I definitely do think like it's his last match for sure. But like I could maybe Sting would still be around for like appearances here and there. I can see him still doing that. But yeah, for sure he's gonna. No matter what, win or lose, he's gonna be celebrated regardless. But I do see him losing. Because if he does win, then he'll relinquish the belts regardless.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to.
That's true. But again, I feel like this is wrestling, and I feel like with wrestlers in retirement matches, I mean, it's like the Rolling Stones. They've had like 50, farewell tours.
That too. Yeah, that too. Yeah.
The McRib.
Like, you could definitely.
Thing is similar. I mean, thing is like, or like the McRib, like you brought up. Let's just have that as like the thumbnail for this podcast.
You've been McRibbed.
It's a McRib with Sting's face on it. That's going to be the thumbnail.
Boom. Same with Ric Flair. Ric Flair's the fucking McRib, and then
you can be on the other side of the McRib.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to think it's Sting's last match. I mean, like even like Shawn Michaels, right? Like I thought he was actually going to stay retired, and then he had that, here's $1 bajillion from Saudi Arabia. Let's have this Terrible match.
He did say so he's seen that check.
Yeah, money talks, and never say never. Literally, like there's nobody that I've never seen like come back or whatever it is. I feel like in wrestling, retirement is more or less kind of a joke, but we'll see. We'll see about it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sting had one more thing after this.
Even Mick Foley's thinking about coming back for one more.
I mean, Mick Foley, that's another guy. He's like Cher or the Rolling Stones. They got like another farewell tour. Yeah, it is what it is. But I think going into it, treating it as this is last match, I think it's going to be a really, really good one.
Barn burner, baby.
Barn burner. Do you think it's gonna be the main event?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it will.
I mean, like that. They feel like they've been billing it as just the Sting pay-per-view, basically. The next one is the AEW World Championship. This is between Samoa Joe, Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland. I also saw their promos on this too. Samoa Joe, man, I feel like he just deserves to retain the title. He's also another one who's really good on the mic. He's just like a no frills. He isn't the kind of people who sounds like amateur hour at a theater. He just sounds like a guy who like wants to kick the other guy's ass, and it just sounds natural coming from him. Swerve Strickland is popular, but I don't know if they would get the strap off Joe this soon because he just got it at World's End. So what do you guys think about the results for this one? Where do you think it's going?
I see Joe retaining. Yeah, retaining. But I think Swerve is definitely going to stay in the main event picture going forward, and then his time will come for sure.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I was writing down notes earlier, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I think Swerve might pick it up. To be honest, I feel like because they want to capitalize on his popularity, they might give him a run and see where it goes, perhaps. But Adam Page, he's the other guy in this match, who was already champion, but Adam Page and Swerve have had their nice little feud, so I think Swerve is gonna pick it up. I think, but you never know.
Do you feel like the popularity of Swerve is going up? Do you feel like it's leveled out? How do you feel the audience, and I mean even yourselves, how do you feel Swerve is being portrayed right now as the top guy?
I think they could do better.
You might be right. Like just kind of thinking about it again, like I feel like he's on the cusp of it. Maybe now isn't like the appropriate time, because I think he just needs to have that extra thing. Like he had the Texas Death Match, which was fucking crazy. But yeah, I think maybe he needs a little bit more time in the oven, as far as like his popularity. So I guess I'll change my mind. Actually, I'll probably say Samoa Joe retains. Yeah.
Hangman needs the pin.
Yeah, I think Hangman should eat it. I feel like I'm hot and cold with Hangman Adam Page when it comes to his character.
Yeah, for me, I can't really get too attached to Hangman because it's just like the Punk stuff, all the Elite stuff. To me, he's just he's like it's like the member of every band that you don't remember.
Nice.
He's good because he's in the band, but
he's the bassist.
You put him against Kenny, it's like Kenny should be kicking his ass.
I also feel like he just needs, at least when it comes to backstage antics and stuff, I feel like there's some maturity that he still has to go through. I feel like his perspective is still too, I don't know, childish.
Yeah, he's like all that melodrama and shit. It's like, how are you a cowboy and you're over here fighting depression, being a millennial, and all that funny shit that he always says that he allegedly deals with. I don't for me, it's like it doesn't make me want to relate to anything where like Swerve, he's cool, he's going, he's showing up at sporting events, he's doing all that other stuff. Samoa Joe is self-explanatory. It's like to me, Hangman lacks an aura.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like with Swerve and Samoa Joe, I mean, Samoa Joe's a little more in your face, but with Swerve, it feels like he's the kind of guy. It's like you have it, so you're not just kind of being like that little chihuahua that's trying to be super loud and like I'm tough as hell. And
He's kind of got like that LA Knight where
Yeah.
he's just kind of just sitting around, but it's probably for the better.
Right. It's like speaking softly and carrying a big stick. Like that you're the shit, but you give off the energy of like you are, but you're not like overcompensating or anything. Like you're good.
Yeah.
And I think good champions have that quality in them.
And then Logan Paul does all of Hangman's moves better than Hangman.
Yes. I mean that's another one. Like we'll get to Logan Paul later, but man,
sorry, Hangman.
I don't know. Logan Paul, man, like this guy is like, I mean, I feel like initially I was hesitant, but he is like a natural when it comes to just being a wrestler and a heel. Like he just understands his role. But yeah, let's AEW World Championship. I think we're all kind of on the page of Samoa Joe retaining. Yeah.
We're not on the page, actually.
Well, we're not on Adam page.
Not on the actual page, no.
But yeah, let's go to the other championship matches and matches that we have. We got Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong for the International Championship. So Roderick Strong is part of the Undisputed Kingdom, is that right?
Yeah.
He feels like a second fiddle when it comes to like it felt like maybe I'm looking at it this way, but it feels like other people are talking kind of like for him, and then he's in this match. Like he doesn't, for me, feel like, I don't know, a main event guy or like in that kind of championship caliber. You know what I mean? At least based on the promo that I saw, it felt like people were talking for him. He seems like a background character.
He's kind of put himself in a funny spot with the add-on.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because like he's a goofball, but like he is a really good wrestler.
I think this is the reset here. I think honestly, I was writing stuff down and I essentially said that he needs this win. He needs to take
Kick his ass, Roddy.
Yeah, like he needs the belt off of him because Orange Cassidy already had this fucking belt since its inception. So like fucking
boring.
Drop that shit.
Lost it, didn't he?
Well, he did, but then he retained it like immediately because of injury, because Moxley got injured or some shit, and now
Mox got dropped on his head.
So he's been having it ever since. So I mean,
Plumber.
Definitely, right, Plumber Moxley. No, but yeah, I think he needs this win for sure, and just to make, because if you're gonna do the Undisputed Kingdom thing and you're trying to make them a big deal on some level, you're gonna need like some belts, some gold. You need to start swinging your dick around or whatever. So like he needs this belt, to be honest. And
that's my next question. What do you guys think of the Undisputed Kingdom as a faction and what they've been doing?
I think it's mild right now. I think there's a lot of potentials. That's why
mid.
Yeah, mid. Yeah, the mid kingdom maybe. But I think it just needs more time. It needs better direction. Like it could be potentially good because of the whole devil shit. Like if you're already made your bed, then you sleep in it and make sense of it. So
I think they should have been winning.
It doesn't help that Adam Cole also still injured, so it's like you have your lead guy, but he's just kind of injured.
Yeah, their foundation kind of sucked because it's just like it all happened at once. It's like they won the ROH tag titles, they didn't unmask, and then by the end of that pay-per-view, we were finding out who the devil was when it's like Mike Bennett and the other Matt Taven have been the tag team forever. They could have been winning. Roddy could have been winning instead of walking around with a neck brace yelling at him.
Right.
Like Roderick Strong anywhere else was like just this badass dude that could out wrestle anybody. And then they kind of made him into this joke character because Joe put him in a muscle buster and fucked up his neck. And it's like we've heard that story before.
Yeah.
And I like all those skits and vignettes were cool where it's like they're all visiting Adam and stuff, but it's like it was like some real teenage shit.
Mm-hmm.
Overstayed its welcome. Like it
Yeah.
was like, okay, we get it. Like it was still going on for a little too long.
Like, because Tony Khan claps like this when he hears Roderick Strong yell at him.
Seal.
It's like, oh my God. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah.
I think there was. I guess that this is another question I want to ask, and I didn't know where to insert this because now that we're on the topic of factions, well, what do you think of like the Bang Bang Scissor Gang thing? Because this feels to me
Get rid of them.
That's what that was what I'm trying to. That was what I'm saying because I felt like because I just started watching like a bunch of clips, promos, and like, all that kind of stuff about like how this came together. You got Bullet Club Gold, and then you got the Acclaimed. And then why are they together exactly? Like why do they put them together? And
Because the Kingdom beat them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a commonality, I guess.
And a lot of people are saying that it seems obvious that they're going to turn on each other and feud with each other.
They needed to sell some shirts. But can you imagine just being in public and wearing a Bang Bang Scissor Gang shirt? Can you imagine just walking around the grocery store with that shit on? I'm like, what the fuck, bro?
I can explain.
I mean, that Val Venus shirt, David, that you shared, like, can you imagine wearing that at a grocery store?
And ready to unload. I'm looking on eBay to find one.
Man, it's got the font of jizz, and then you're just like going to pick up, some apples and a frozen pizza.
That's gonna be my permanent gym shirt.
Yeah.
Cut the sleeves.
Did you find it or no?
Yeah. Did you find the shirt? Did you find that Val Venus shirt? Yeah.
Not at a reasonable price.
Probably like $100.
No.
Yeah.
Because they're not reprinting that one on WWEshop.com.
Do it for the meme. Spend the money for the meme.
Just wear that in gray sweats every time. Wear some Hoochie Daddies. Some Hoochie Daddy shorts.
Hell yeah.
Can't even do my ab workout because my shit's gonna fall out.
Yeah, I feel like they just brought them together to sell some shirts. But again, who's buying the fucking shirt is what I'm saying.
Do you
think it's gonna last long?
It seems like the crowd really likes them though.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it to be over.
Do you feel like the Scissor Gang's gonna end soon, or do you feel like they're gonna keep milking this thing?
It should end.
And poor Jay White, man, I feel like
That's exactly why it should end.
Yeah.
it feels like he doesn't seem like the aura doesn't fit the
he's not a funny guy. Like he's
New Japan's only Grand Slam champion and he's over here fucking
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, right. Straight up.
Like that doesn't make any sense. But then that's the other thing. Like you got guys like Will Ospreay and all these guys, Okada. Like if they see this, are they like, yeah, I want to go here because they might throw me into like the fucking Scissor Gang with 100 belts on the roster. But I don't know. I think just for me, like just looking at it, I feel like they have to just split them up. And my critique of too many belts still stands. I feel like there are way too many belts, and don't have Ring of Honor belts be in AEW because again, it just dilutes everything. And I don't give a shit what your championship you're fighting for if you have like 10 other ones,
Right.
So, okay, let's go to Toni Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo. Now, Toni Storm, I was saying earlier, she is having the ride of her life and the best in her career right now. I think she's doing really well. Deonna Purrazzo, like I didn't know too much about her before I started doing more research, and I really enjoy the Hey AEW interviews because you're allowed to see different sides of these people, and they ask them questions, but it's just good to see them interact in a more long form interview, even if it's like funny. And Deonna Purrazzo comes across as really likable, and I thought she seems like a good person for Toni Storm, who I think will retain and then feud with Mercedes when she comes. I think that'll be a really good feud if that happens. I saw the match that Deonna Purrazzo had on Dynamite versus that's not Mariah May. Jeez, I forgot her name. But
thanks, Tony. That's how good you're doing.
Red Velvet.
No, it wasn't Red Velvet. It was like a really bad match on Dynamite.
Yeah, the girl got dropped on her freaking noggin.
Yeah, she got dropped in her dome, but apparently she was also like a trainer too. Like that's pretty crazy. I don't know what was happening there because she was not selling anything and she seemed very gassed.
Purrazzo or the
No, not Deonna Purrazzo. Madison Rain, that's who it was, I think. Yeah, she didn't do well. She was like gassed and like she was basically like half selling it, and then yeah, when she did the DDT, she like dropped on her dome, and it did not look good.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess people have bad days. But what do you guys think about the Toni Storm Deonna Purrazzo championship match? Do you feel like Toni Storm's going to retain? Where does Deonna go from here?
I think Deonna picks it up, and I think Mercedes comes in as a heel. I think that's where that goes. I mean, she won't come off as a heel, I think, first, Mercedes, but I think I could see that happening. But like, if you're gonna bring in Deonna Purrazzo, make it a big deal, then put the belt on her, because I think Tony's had it for a minute
and a couple times
for a little bit, but it's not that long because this character started last year, right?
I mean, it's a pretty long time. I mean, not everybody has to be Roman Reigns. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. But I feel like there's a lot you can do with her character still.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's going to retain. And I feel like Mercedes is going to come back as a face because you can't have this like comeback and then just be a heel. I mean, I guess you could.
Well, she could be like the pompous, like, I'm better than you, I make a lot of money shit. Like she could definitely go that route. You know what I mean? And people could still be behind it, like, and look at any heel that does her thing. But I think she can be that, like, my shit don't stink kind of a person.
Well, I guess in terms of main event caliber heels in AEW for the women's side, do you feel like, how many are there besides Toni Storm? Who else do you feel like can fit that?
Mariah May, then they're babying fucking, what's her name? Saraya. So, and then, I mean, Saraya and, what's her fucking name? Ruby Soho. Yeah. I mean, she like slapped her or something. So I don't know where that's going, but yeah, not too many heels.
Yeah, they kind of just really all revolved. A lot of it, or all of it really, for the first 2 years, really revolved around just Britt Baker being a heel with Jamie Hayter and Rebel around her.
Right.
And anybody else that came up was just, super face, like anybody that beat. Like, it was just a long heel reign.
And you felt like
I
remember its welcome?
Yeah.
I mean, I could
so Toni Storm has been champion only for 95 days. She got her title in November. So I don't think that's that long at all.
Was her third reign? Second reign? It's either a second or third.
She's a 3-time AEW Women's Champion.
I see her retaining though too. Like I kind of agree with you, Marson. Like Mercedes showing up. Being a heel, though, well, Tony's what? Tony's the heel now, right?
Yeah.
Well, Toni Storm is a heel, yeah. Really entertaining, too.
Yeah, I know. I've seen a little bit of her promos. I do like it. But yeah, I do like the little touch, too, that you were mentioning that they, like, for the promotional posters, they always they put the black and white filter over her, too. And
they, like, give her red lipstick. I'm like, just...
Yeah. I do like that, actually. At first, I wasn't into it, to be honest. At first, I wasn't a big fan of it.
I just wasn't sure where it was going, but I feel like it just gets more unhinged, and I like that. I like her vignettes that she's done.
The black and white when you turn heel was actually done by Sandman first.
Really?
Yeah. When he first turned heel, his matches until he started drinking beer and smoking cigs on the way to the ring.
Not NWO.
They're done in black and white.
NWO black and white.
Nope.
That's why in those like creator entrance, I mean, they had the black and white filter over that. Somebody had to do it.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, I think Toni Storm's going to retain, and I think she's going to start a feud with Mercedes, just because it feels like you need. But I guess the other thing is like Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa. I don't know where all these other women are going to be involved. Are they involved in this title picture? Do they get thrown into another feud? I don't know. Because Thunder Rosa, I feel like, needs something too.
Yeah. She just started throwing up the nation.
She did. I feel like people were just reading too much into it, but
Well, that's LFI too. That's Rush's little thing.
Oh yeah, true.
Like people reading into The Rock with the L, and they thought he was joining the Bang Bang Scissors gang.
He is.
Guns up. 2 words for you.
That's their Forbidden Door pay-per-view.
What happened to the one Japanese female wrestler? She's been off TV for a while now, right? Hinata?
Riho, Hikaru Shida.
Yeah. Hikaru
Shida.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Shida was a good face when AEW's women's division started. So I take that back. There was one good face.
I feel like Hikaru Shida. So Riho was the first ever women's champion for AEW.
And Riho, right? Yeah.
Hikaru Shida she's had one.
She's had
3. Yeah, she's had 3 title reigns.
Her last one was really short, though. I think it was like not even a month, maybe.
Saraya only had it for 44, but Hikaru actually did have it shorter. She had it for 25 days, which is pretty. But I think her first one, she actually had it for a year and some change. And maybe that's because of the pandemic and all that stuff. So they were just like, let's let you have it. And then Britt Baker basically had the second longest reign so far. Yeah, Hikaru has the longest, and then Britt Baker had it from 2021 May to 2022 March 16th. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with them. So it's been about a month and some change. Well, I guess it's been about a month with the rankings. Do you guys feel like it's making sense where they're going with these rankings, like how they determine these matches, or do you feel like it's still?
I think it's fallen off already.
Yeah, I feel like it's fallen off. Yeah. Just based on looking at like, okay, so this is how many wins, but what counts? Like, do TV like Rampage? I mean, I guess Rampage, Collision, and Dynamite matches count. Yeah, I don't know. It for me, it's still confusing.
I think when they initially made the announcement, you had the announcers making some effort of like, oh, if he wins this, it's gonna mean this, and that. But
it means plus 400. If he wins this, it's plus 100. It's like Tekken.
Right, exactly. Frame data. Yeah.
Like rank points.
I haven't really seen too much of that. That is interesting though. Kind of like, so it's like what, like the actual game now? They put their stats of like ratings and stuff, and like overall like numbers,
win-loss record specifically. Like that's what they were trying to focus on. I think it still needs more time. I think it's still too early to see where it's truly going, like the macro picture. I think you need to get to at least like all in, all out, and see if this shit even worked or not to make sense of it. I think again, it's still like the turning point. So they got their new writer, they're doing Revolution and all these things. So we'll see. I think it's too early to tell.
Fair. So let's go. Let's keep going down the list here. Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson for the Continental Crown Championship. So the Continental Crown Championship, if we're trying to like rank this title, like where does this thing land? Is it like a mid-tier title? Is it like an intercontinental, like their international championship? I don't know where.
I feel kind of weird, but I think they're pushing it to be like the old intercontinental title.
I still feel like there's like this is just like another, like you don't need this many belts. Like why do you need this one? You have a TNT championship, you have an international championship. You know, I just feel like that's too many.
Well,
right? What do you guys? What do you guys think about this match?
I think Bryan needs some gold.
Has he had gold?
No, I don't think he should be Eddie Kingston for it though.
No,
why not?
He talks too much. Like, I feel like a lot of his Eddie Kingston slander has a little too much weight for Kingston to go out there and lose.
I haven't heard his promo recently.
Oh, he's always calling him a bum.
Oh, okay.
And all that, like.
So if he loses, he's indeed a bum.
Yeah, like I get it, Eddie. You don't mind being the king of the bums, but you're not a bum, dog.
Right.
King of the line codes.
I just want to see Bryan with a belt. That's all. That's my personal bias.
Yeah.
Still rocking the eye patch? I didn't see that. Actually.
No, he's not.
No, okay.
But I think it'll be a good match. But yes, I'd like to see Bryan getting a belt. But again, it just, for me, it just boils down to too many belts. I don't care if he wins.
There you go. He should get a Ring of Honor belt.
Yeah, exactly. But then he's still appearing on AEW with Ring of Honor again. Too many. Too many. Okay. This one, I think we can talk a little bit more about Christian Cage versus Daniel Garcia for the TNT Championship. So from the clips and things that I've seen, so Daniel Garcia faced Edge.
Ooh.
Or Adam Copeland, geez, sorry, slipped the tongue. Copium. He lost, or did he just get jumped by Christian Cage and that family, and then basically lost by default? Is he actually injured, by the way? They were saying he's on the shelf. Is it, or is that
that I haven't seen? I think I made a prediction of he was gonna do some kind of a surprise during the match and low blow Christian or something and cost him the match, or cost him the belt like he cost Edge the match. Edge, fucking A, Adam.
Hey, if you're called Edge for like 20 years, it's hard to get rid of it.
Yeah,
but this is really good. Honestly, like I feel like Christian Cage needs the AEW World Title, because I feel like from what I'm seeing, he's like the best thing going in AEW still. Like, some people might think it's a little tiring with him talking about like people's dads and dying, like that's shit. And he was like in his promo talking about like,
your alcoholic father.
Yeah, he's like, I know your dad. Is he at this address or whatever? And it was a graveyard. Looked up on Twitter. It was like the plot for like where his dad was buried, basically. So, that's crazy. I think for me, it does get a little complicated too with like all these other people that he's kind of involving. Like, why is Luchasaurus or whatever he's called, Dino Man, or
He'll switch.
Yeah, why is he with Christian Cage?
I mean,
and then he's got like this wife with like this 18-year-old kid now. That's, I guess, like that's the father figure. So I guess child, mother. Yeah, I'm assuming that's where which is kind of funny.
And the beast. They got a beast, a mindless beast.
Their pet dinosaur.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why that thing sticks out to me for like a sore thumb personally, but I guess it's kind of funny just seeing them all stand together in the ring. But yeah, Christian Cage versus Daniel Garcia. I feel like Daniel Garcia, he's okay, but I feel like all he's got is that hip thrust thing going for him. Like, I'm not intrigued by him as a person when it comes to like his promos and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how you guys feel about
that. That was a good promo. I think he's finding his like groove with this whole thing, and I think Christian really like elevated him saying those things before he shit on him, because he like said he's a good wrestler, blah 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 blah. That was a good reaction. He had good emotion when he was doing his side of the promo. So I think and him being one of those AEW originals, right? I think he's doing well. I think this is his turning point. So a win with that belt would do him pretty good.
Do you feel like we are going to get a rematch between Christian and Adam for the title again? Or do you feel like it's going to go in a different direction?
I think it's going to be without
it? Because maybe Dan Garcia wins the belt, and like you said, Adam Copeland shows up, interferes, costs him the title, and then Garcia can go on to feud with somebody else, and then Adam Copeland and Christian can be doing something in a non-title capacity. Because to be fair, neither of them really need the title. They are who they are. Like, they are respected. Everyone knows who Christian and Edge are and were. So
ENC?
Yeah, ENC, exactly. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But I'm looking forward to that one too, personally. All right, let's jump back into the next match. Wardlow versus Powerhouse Hobbs versus, I just forgot the guy's name, Archer.
Lance Archer?
Lance Archer, thank you. In the Meat Madness match. Now, we talked a little bit about the term Meat Madness, which I think is a term that belongs to Big E. and Tony Khan should probably send him a check for that. But what do you guys think about this setup between these three guys? Does this feel? Are you guys excited by this match? Do you feel like there's any buildup or reason for this triple threat to happen, or do you feel like it's kind of like a card filler?
It's definitely a card filler, I would imagine.
But it's a very entertaining card filler because
That's true.
Right. I mean,
all that slapping of meat.
yeah, Lance Archer. I mean, he can fly, that big fucking guy.
He's a big dude.
I mean, it's kind of like when they kept doing like Ivar versus various members of the Academy. I don't know why.
Also Academy.
Thank you. Like they kept doing that. That shit was still entertaining, you know, and they could put on a good match. So I feel like it doesn't have to all be, you know, you can always have a match like that to just kind of hype up the crowd, and I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's
And
gonna be the meme one.
Did you guys see Wardlow's promo from the past week or so? I think it was the past week. What did you guys think about his promo?
I think that was the best work he's done as a professional wrestler.
Right. And it's also crazy he never got a championship opportunity. Is that true?
He was a TNT champ.
Yeah, he was TNT championship. Mm-hmm.
Or for the main belt, I guess. I don't think he ever got an opportunity.
Did he get hurt? Like, why did he stop showing up?
Yeah, I think he got hurt. It was like a shoulder thing or something like that.
Too many whisper in the winds.
Yeah.
I feel like if anything was going to happen out of that faction, Undisputed Kingdom or whatever they call themselves, I think that Wardlow seems like the guy who would like turn on the group, because he feels like a pushover to me. Like he's got the muscles and he does the stuff, but I'm also getting a similar vibe to like how Christian Cage kind of treated Luchasaurus or Kill Switch, or whatever he's called right now, where he's like the big tough guy doing all the damage, getting the belts, and then getting none of the credit really, or acknowledgement from their tribal chiefs, their leaders of their faction. So I feel like that's kind of where that storyline is headed. But again, good card filler match. This should be entertaining. And then they announced Will Ospreay versus Konosuke Takeshita.
There you go.
Thank you. Whereas Jim Cornette used to say, "Take a shitta." But what do you guys think about this Will Ospreay Konosuke Takeshita match?
I mean, it should be a good match overall.
Yeah.
You know, it should be a really good
The
match.
fanboys are saying it's going to be the match of the night, and it might be from pure wrestling skill. I think it will be, but yeah, is this going to be Will Ospreay's first match officially under like AEW as part of the roster?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he's going to lose. You guys think they'd make him lose on his first match?
I don't
Maybe
think so.
screwy.
Yeah, maybe like a screwy, not a clean pin kind of a thing. Takeshita's really good too. I think he's got a lot of talent.
That's true. And how do you feel like they've done with him in terms of build?
They built him up to be this kind of like bruiser kind of a dude for sure. Like he's this kind of like cerebral assassin, for lack of a better word. But yeah, yeah, take shit. I think he needs to break away from Don Callis. I think it's about time for that to happen. So
yeah, he's not a good oddity.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this Don Callis group is going to last any longer?
Probably not.
Or do you feel like it's going to keep going?
I think it needs to go.
I mean, I think
Seems
Don
like
Callis
they're
can be in
in
some
the
different like
Was it
role.
Will Ospreay part of the Don Callis family last time he was in AEW?
Spray?
I think he was
You're
actually.
right.
And so, like, there goes my head-scratching booking decision.
Yeah.
Is he oddity or is he not?
He's an oddity. He's an oddity. But I think this match is going to be really good. I don't know if it'll open. I think it'll be somewhere in the middle of the card. But this definitely will be good. So I think that's the end of the AEW Revolution conversation. So it takes place on March 3rd at Greensboro, North Carolina, which I think was also Sting's first match in that arena. I think that's why they picked this one as his last.
It's a big WCW, NWA.
Territory.
Yeah.
So that should be really good. I guess, Chris, you're hosting Revolution. We could be doing some live reacts.
Hell yeah.
Should be fun.
Sunday, not Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's a Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. Get some crispy burnt Pizza Hut again.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Nice and cold, lukewarm.
It wasn't even like
I chipped
it
my
wasn't even
tooth.
lukewarm, really. It was like they let it sit out for like a day, and then they just
And then the driver
chipped it
came.
up. They let it sit out for a day, and then threw it in the oven, and then let it sit out for another day, and then they delivered it to us.
Yep.
But next time, if we do Pizza Hut, because I have those nostalgia goggles on with like Pizza Hut and just like enjoying the taste of Pizza Hut. And when I got it, I was like, my childhood is ruined. What is this piece of cardboard?
You're like, pizza what?
I think the issue, at least for us, was we also picked like their non-traditional pizza. Like I picked like they don't do thin crust. Like their traditional is like pan pizza stuff. So I think if we do end up ordering Pizza Hut again, we should just stick with what they are normally good with. So
Old Faithful.
good old faith.